This is an update on how to open the second vault. It was actually simpler than I thought. Jimmy points at this vault, which is the first vault that Colin unlocked. Our goal is the $1 million in the secondary vault, which requires the correct WCC match sequence. It is mandatory to remove security before reaching the vault, as you will see. If you observe, there are still guards on the left and right, with a tank nose pointed at us. Previously, I disabled the tank by converting the tank's ice cream icon into ice cream, then using the A1Z26 cipher on ice cream and subtracting it from the tank's number to get -0. We can convert -0 to -0. Since 0 cannot be negative, the negative disappears. When we switch it to a 1 state, it is active. In my previous video, I thought 1 was the inactive state. After thinking about how the blinking lights are defined, I now deduce that 1 is the active state. I know I have to get rid of the security, and Nolan is defined as security. Mrs. Maybell said, "Where's your security?" And Nolan pops up. To further prove we must remove him, observe the tank's nose. It is pointing at him with smoke coming out, indicating to remove security. After activating the tank to remove him, I can now disable the tank using 0. To open this yellow door requires an up and down motion, which we can obtain from the grenade, Feastables, Salesforce arrow, and Braille door. First, the grenade. Observe Jimmy throwing it. The security that catches it is on this side. The arrow here is pointing left, so everything on the left must be calculated, starting with Nolan's hand gesture as a 6 on the left side. The reason it is a 6 is that it is an upside-down 9 from this sign language. Therefore, 9 is on this side. In order to open this door, we must solve both the left and right motions to get the up and down motion. This is confusing because our point of view makes this side appear right. Just ignore which side is which and use the Salesforce arrow as reference. Since the grenade starts on this side, its first state is 1, so this O, when converted to 0, becomes a 1 due to this Boolean statement. BeastBot treats O as 0, and the logic board's initial state starts as 1 because the binary blinking starts as on, not off, so we have SM1KE. Afterwards, we scramble to get 179. The 9 converts to a 6, so we have 1716. We scramble Feastables to get SLS. Now we proceed to Salesforce by scrambling it. We get 18152. We can convert it to SLS0 using the logic board. The 2 is removed because red is a constant function that removes all 2, 3, and 4. The reason for those numbers is the bank-defining red removal here from this stoplight. Both Feastables and Salesforce have SLS, which we can square and remove the 2, as SLS does not have a defined power function unlike n power 2 and n power 3. The 0 functions as a binary statement for Salesforce. Since we are starting with the left arrow, we switch it to 1, as left is the first statement. Once complete, we are at the braille, which is attached to the door. In order to get the door to go upwards, we read the braille in an upward motion like this. Afterwards, remember to discard due to the red function, and you end up with 14 of 1. To reduce size, we add all the ones up to get 14. Afterwards, divide by 2 to get 2 of 7, and convert 7 to m to get Afterwards, add Jimmy's defined number, which is 10. This is the whole equation so far, but here's the twist. We actually have to invert our answer based on this object here. If we go left, we go upward, thus Jimmy is first, afterwards the rest. This is what it looks like inverted. If you read from the right arrow, there's no need for inversion. I already did the full calculation on the right side, and this is what I get. Once we reverse the motion of the yellow door, the next door is the Salesforce door. This door requires 30 characters, as it is actually this vault door here. If you observe, Jimmy states to Colin that he needs to input 30 characters to open the vault door. To find the 30 characters, we'll be decoding clues starting with this yellow number. You can get it by pausing here at the correct time. We use the red function to discard numbers to get this. We know 6 and 9 are already calculated to have SLS, so we get this. The next portion of this will help get rid of the red lasers and also give the final answers. Observe here on the walls. The bills are highlighted red and are related to the longest WCC game. When you define the bills as objects and replay the last 17 moves from 136 moves of the WCC, you get 2 answers, as Knight and Rook have the same amount of moves. To know the right answer, observe Jimmy's hand gesture, which is a 10, indicating that 10 is first. Also, here he shows a 5, indicating that 5 is secondary. The red arrow means to discard, which we will do to the fake one. To discard, remove 2, 3, and 4. After that, convert all the 5s into 0, due to the logic board and BeastBot conversion of O to 0. Afterwards, get rid of the 1, as this red arrow is pointing at the 1 on the floor. The result is 8 of 0. The last step is to remove the Salesforce binary, as here does not show any arrows on the final vault. Therefore, no binary statement of left or right character is used. Instead, add the Salesforce blue number, which is defined as 100 from this monitor. The reason this monitor is 100 is because 5 is not actually a power number. In this statement from BSpot, it states that 5 is not a triangle, and triangle makes up power statement quite literally from here. So we convert 5 to 0. We add 100 to the answer along with the money sign on the right side of 1. This might sound confusing, but observe BeastBot quote, "The dots matter too," with all the characters in that exact pattern, and treat the dollar signs as correct and the dots as incorrect. If you're still confused, look at this check with 20 at the end. We just ignore the decimal and think of it as a reverse 1 million. Anyways, this equates to 30 characters, which opens this door and removes the lasers. The only thing left is to solve for this answer, which previously we know we got the reverse 1 million from this. All we do is just invert the previous one to get 1 million. Anyways, thank you for watching.